Welcome back to Supply Chain Africa News. We are talking about the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. This agreement will be one of the largest trade area in the world that will connect at least 1.3 billion people across the 55 countries with a gross combined domestic product valued at United States dollars of 3.4 trillion. We were talking about corruption before we went on a short commercial break. So, Mr. David, will corruption affect this agreement?
Unfortunately so. Because, when you have a trading arrangement anchored in law, oftentimes it's people who have to implement it and institutions. And so the institutions might not work ideally as they require or as they ought to, because people have different incentives. And we know the challenges of corruption in Africa. So that will remain a challenge. I think the positive point is that the more awareness we have in terms of the opportunities that exist and in terms of the procedures, because those are the avenues, corruption opportunities often present themselves when people are seeking certain services from these institutions that are implementing.
Okay.
And so when people are clearer about what services they can get, what the procedures are, then those opportunities for corruption will decline. So it really behooves on the implementation. It behooves the agencies and the governments to create awareness and sensitization for its key stakeholders, and even down to the general population. Because if people know and there's transparency around the fees that are expected to be paid for certain services, the time it takes for those services to be delivered, and which agencies are in charge of those services, then those opportunities will certainly reduce. Yeah.
So during the COVID-19 pandemic, when the countries were looking for vaccines, one of the criteria or decisions they were making is the storage. Mm-hmm. So looking at these African countries, how are they prepared in terms of storage or warehousing?
Yeah, that's an important point. We know that with the pandemic, supply chains were interrupted. And this interruption in supply chains particularly impacts COVID-19 response quite negatively, because you have to deliver, whether PPEs or vaccines within, a timely manner, so that, it helps bolster the public health response that nations are implementing. And so the challenge therefore comes with, the attendant services that you require to deliver whether PPEs or vaccines in a timely manner where they can be utilized for the purposes that they've been procured. Mm-hmm. And so for national agencies, they've got supplies facilities that also have appropriate storage facilities. And because it's governments procuring, in their planning, they ensure that they do that. Mm-hmm. Now, the challenge has been with the distribution of those vaccines. Okay. So they've been able to acquire them. They're in country, and they've been deployed to the various health centers. And, they have a sell-by date by which they should have been distributed. Okay. And so you find that, if there's no accompanying sensitization or awareness for those communities where the vaccine has been prioritized, then you will have, vaccine available, but no people to distribute to.
My point, I think I was majorly focusing on the specialized goods. Mm-hmm. These are specialized goods that require certain temperatures to be stored.
Yeah.
Are there any African countries that are ready for such conversations?
First of all, that capacity is there. It's there in Africa. So the challenge is, as I was stating, in the distribution. The capacity is there. So if you look at, for instance, for KEMSA, KEMSA is well equipped to handle anything of any nature, as long as it's a medical product.
But it can only go to -8%, -8 degrees Celsius. Mm-hmm. So anything beyond that?
Yeah, but I bet that is the window that they need for the goods that they handle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because these people are technicians, and the way they do it is you don't have to have excess capacity, right? So if the window of your products only take up to the ones you handle, say, are within that range that you've provided for, then it's okay. There's no need for you to have, say, -20.
Yeah.
Right? So my assumption, and this one, I'm just making assumptions and speculating, is that they have the technical capacity to exactly handle the range of goods that they equipped to handle.
Okay.
So the challenge, as I was saying, is you've got health centers where vaccines are available, but really they cannot distribute them because the people are not there.
Okay.
So that is the challenge. So the question is, can the government supplement it with a public awareness effort within those communities so that those who are eligible to receive them can go and receive them? Yeah, and it's a big question. Yeah.
So we are ready. That is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. From a distribution point of view, we are ready. The big issue is on supply.
Okay.
Because we know now India, cannot supply, and most people had taken the ones that were coming out of India. And so you have got one dose, but now you don't know where your second dose is going to come. So supply is a problem, and there are a number of solutions that people are thinking about, but yeah.
Don't you think political activities probably might affect the
spread? With regard to spread, though I'm not a public health expert, but I would say anything that contravenes those restrictions, including political activities, can and have led into furthering the spread.
Okay. Yeah. So probably you can tell our viewers your last message. Your camera is this one. So anything?
Yeah, well, really for me is just to take an optimistic view. Yeah, we as Africa, we do face a lot of challenges, but there are opportunities that can provide, broader economic development. One of them is this trading framework called the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. If it is well implemented, it can provide opportunities for us to access greater markets beyond our borders. And so we, as people who are engaged in producing goods or offering services, we have to think of how can we take advantage of this opportunity. At the same time, we also have to call upon our governments to give us the right information so that we are educated and equipped to know of these opportunities and how to plan going forward, so that the implementation can also see, a good people on the continent taking advantage of those opportunities.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. David Owiro, for your time. We really appreciate. You have really given us some insightful information, and we really appreciate that. And special thanks to you, our viewer at home. We really appreciate your company. Thank you very much, and always remember to keep it Supply Chain Africa News.